All right, let's be honest. The scariest part about going out and door knocking to make connections isn't actually knocking on the door. That part's pretty easy. Even with a ring doorbell where they can see you standing there, you're at least pushing a ring doorbell. That part's easy. The hard part comes when someone actually answers the door because now I have to say something. I actually have to interact with someone I've never seen before. And that can be, frankly, pretty scary for a lot of people. Some people are just naturally extroverted. It's easy for them to do. Others, not so much. But ultimately, you're going to have to talk to people if you're going to live in this career. So long before you ever go out and knock on doors, you need to prepare your message of what you're going to say. Now, not verbatim. Nobody likes it when they get somebody on a sales call that launches right into the script and you never get a word in edgewise, or the guy who shows up on your door with a clipboard trying to sell you on why you should have solar panels and you have no desire for solar panels, and he just launches right into his script the moment you open the door, and you frustratingly slam the door and walk away from him and then think, oh, I'm supposed to go door knocking next Friday, aren't I? Yeah, you don't want that. You need to practice and be prepared to actually interact with people. So, basic outline for what to do when you get to the door. Obviously, you need to introduce yourself. We have an obligation to let people know who we are and why we're there. It sets up the relationship from the very beginning on why we're there. You need to be prepared to ask questions to get to know the other person. You need to focus on getting an appointment for a longer conversation specific to what their needs are. And then you need to get permission to follow up because sometimes you won't get the appointment, but you still need to be getting permission to follow up because that just moved from no to maybe. And as Phil Jones points out, you can't move from no to yes, but you can move from maybe to yes. So permission to follow up is a type of maybe. So let's take a look at each of those steps. The first thing, when you introduce yourself, yes, you need to state your name and you need to state your brokerage. How you say your name can make a big difference. I have one of those unique names that no matter how many times I introduce myself, people still get it wrong. They can mishear my name. Having the first name of Darren, I can't tell you how many times people said, so is your name Aaron? I learned from a TED Talk where the speaker solely focused on 15 minutes on how you introduce yourself and say your name can dramatically change the beginning of a relationship. From a misunderstood name to an understood name and now a common relationship. So as you state your first name, your voice should start low and go up. My name is Darren. And then on your last name, your voice should go down. Webster. Darren Webster. Because with that change of pitch, each time they have to refocus and really pay attention. If you have a name with a consonant at the beginning of it, really make sure you emphasize that consonant. Like I said, Darren is really easy to mishear as Aaron. Or in my case, it was even more embarrassing growing up when they misheard it as Darwin, because that was somebody else. That was my brother. But make sure they understand your name and your brokerage, prime real estate experts. I know it's kind of hard to say, but once you say it the first time, then if you want to say Prex, great. But they really need to know where you are. It's a matter of ethics as well to make sure that you are introducing yourself. And then state your purpose for the visit. Hi, this is Darren Webster with Prime Real Estate Experts. I'm here to help answer questions for you about real estate. Is now a good time? Now, I used to say, have you got a minute? And sometimes I still will out of habit. But Phil Jones states, is now a good time? Is a better way to get people to commit to it because nobody wants to start out by saying no. You want to get them to say yes. If the answer is now a good time? Yes, then great. We're going to move to stage 2. Is now a good time? No. Okay. When is a good time to come back and follow up with you? You notice I went right for the appointment at that point. When's a good time to come back and talk with you? Now's not the right time. I get it. Let's set that appointment. Also, in this introduction, you need to be cognizant of what's going on in the background. Are there dogs that they're trying to hold at bay? Are there little kids in the room? Were they in the middle of vacuuming the floor or something? Because that could tell you that now probably isn't a good time and you know why. So now's not the best time. Let me come back later. Now I have to tell you, we were doing this for practice one time in the brokerage, and when I was standing behind the door, I was playing the part of the person behind the door, and my agent was standing the other side of the door, and he knocked like he was supposed to. And then I surprised him by going, "Oh, hey, get down, get back away from the door." We've all had those moments, right? There's a dog on the other side. I wanted him to be prepared for when that happened. He wasn't ready for it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see what happened on the other side of the door. But all the other agents in role play that day were rolling on the floor laughing as my good agent, who was really good at door knocking, was caught so off guard, he turned and almost ran from what would have been the porch. He wasn't ready for that. You've got to be ready for that. It's going to happen sometimes. So, but as part of that introduction, if something's going crazy in the background, keep it short, state your purpose, and ask, is now a good time? Now, if now is a good time, well, remember, the person who asks questions is the one who controls a conversation. You control which direction the conversation is going. Ask the person questions. So tell me, how long have you lived in your home? Tell me a little bit about the neighborhood. You may have mentioned on the prior videos, we were talking about door knocking about an open house. A simple question is, do you own or rent? What are your real estate needs? Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest? Oh, or are you just looking for more information about your home and its potential value on the market? Well, tell me a little bit more about your home. What makes it unique? You know what? This sounds like this is a great conversation we need to have. When would be the best time to sit down and talk more? Talk more about, are you looking to buy, sell, or invest? Find out as many questions as you can. Questions that end with, tell me more, are great questions to ask because that gets them to open up more about what they're thinking about. Are you looking to buy? Tell me more about that. Why are you looking to buy? Are you thinking of selling? Okay. Why are you looking to sell? Looking at investing. Why now? Why are you looking to invest? Why is a good way to ask questions as well, to get the person to start talking. The more questions you ask them, the more follow-up questions you can to get details, the better. So that then when you sit down for a face-to-face consultation, you'll already know the basics. Now, one important question to ask is, when we sit down and talk face-to-face, who else is going to be involved in that conversation? Might be that one of the significant others isn't home at the time. You want to make sure that both are there. I don't want to have this whole conversation with somebody to go ahead and repeat it again later when I could have had them both at the same time and really got both committed at the same time. So who else will be involved in this? As always, find out what their contact information is. The only way to follow up with anybody is to have that contact information. And make sure you've got a way of recording that information so you can follow up. Okay, that takes us to our next point, that we always need to be focusing on getting an appointment. Setting an appointment for a buyer or seller consultation. Buying for themselves if they're renting, buying for investment because that's what they're looking for, selling their home to move. And then, as mentioned before, make sure that all the principal players will be there. Who else will be involved is the best question to ask. And then finally, make sure you get permission to follow up. Not everyone's going to be ready to talk with you at that time. You know what? Now, I'm not really interested right now. Great. Would it be okay with you if I just kept in contact with you, sent you ideas about the market and what's just going on in your neighborhood over time? Great. That's now giving you permission to follow up with them and permission to develop that connection over time. And then thank them for their time. Thanks for taking a moment with me. I really look forward to meeting with you again on confirm the appointment as we talk about your specific needs. And that's it. Now, obviously that sounds easy for someone who's done it before. If you haven't done it before, practice. Find a practice partner, a spouse, one of our other agents, me. Practice what you're going to say. You need to feel as comfortable on that front porch as you would on your own. It's not uncommon, especially as the weather improves, as you're going through a neighborhood, to have people out front. Walk up and introduce yourself, say hi. Introduce yourself. If there's something going on in the front yard, if they're doing something, ask about what's going on. Some sales techniques come across as a little fake. Oh, is that your truck out front? Yeah, it probably is. But if you're really a car guy and know a thing or two about cars, hey, I noticed you've got a Lamborghini out front. That's pretty cool. What model is that? I'm looking, my personal favorite, something that can break the ice that way. If you notice they've got pets, ask about pets. Asking about children can be a little touchy. People are sometimes very closed about their family relationships. But if you happen to notice that there's a sports team memorabilia in the back wall, ask about that. Find something common that you can use to break the ice that's non-confrontational. One style of door-to-door sales that was popular for a while that I think is fading, thankfully, because it feels phony, is when somebody knocks on the door and says, "Hey, the Smiths up the street told me you'd be interested." You know what? In my neighborhood, there's only one Smiths up the street, and they don't answer the door for people door knocking. So I know better than that. Just be honest and introduce yourself and say, "This is why I'm here. I'm here to connect with you and meet your needs. Your real estate needs, whatever they are, now or in the future." So focus on your message, plan it, prepare it, and do it.